Hello, I am Ginkgo Sequoia and I'm author of the book The Tree Mystic. Today we're in the art room at the Mustard Garden. There's two separate extracts. In the first one, Solly is playing teacher because Ling is away, and as well as the children, he's invited two of the volunteers, Bruno and Tom, to come along. Prior to his address, Solly rubbed his hands. Children, and Tom and Bruno, as painting is not my strength, today we are going to make some clay. I want each of you to take a piece of clay and make a model of yourself. Include all the good and all the bad. Tom and Bruno will do one too. You have 1 hour. Gong! Time up! All the children looked around the room and studied each other's models for a minute. Solly stood in front of the class with his hands behind his back. Tom, would you please bring your model to the front of the class? Tom did as he was instructed. His model was probably the best. If it had been hardened and painted, it could probably have been sold in a shop. Solly merely poked at it with a curious looking finger. Then he handed Tom a rolling pin. Now Tom, I want you to flatten your clay model. Tom very reluctantly did as he was told. Fi-Fi, one of the children, gasped. Why did Mr. Tom have to do that? I wanted to demonstrate that Tom is not a piece of broken glass that cannot be put back together. He is simply a piece of clay that can be rolled out so that all his blemishes and cracks from his past can disappear. He can start his life again with a clean slate whenever he wants. For you must know that it is not enough to recycle discarded materials. You must learn how to recycle yourself. What is more, it is never too late to do so. Suddenly, Bruno's eyebrows untangled. I think I understand it. Now we can be whatever we want to be. Solly tutted. I don't think that you do understand. Please know this. The goal is not to be whatever you want to be. The goal is to remove your limited beliefs, your false identity, your limiting past experiences, so that you can be much more. You can be what your maker intended you to be. The room was ghastly silent. Now, I want each of you to bring your clay model to me. The children all reluctantly trudged to the front, seemingly far from convinced. Solly ignored them, held the rolling pin high above his head, ready to execute each child's clay model. Chop, chop, chop. Later, when all the children and Tom and Bruno had left, Solly re-entered the art room and found Ling, who was slithering and twirling pots. She asked him, what is our true purpose whilst we are here in India at the Mustard Garden? Solly remarked, it is to understand the difference between the stone sculptor and the clay potter. She looked at him and smiled, and then he read it out. The sculptor seeks to remove all the stone and marble that is not needed. The ugly and the unwanted are chipped away until all that is left is a beautiful work of art. However, the potter sees all their material as valuable. Nothing is left to waste. Nothing is deemed inferior. Even the discarded and irredeemable pieces are added back. Now what we have is beyond beauty. Why are you telling me that? I am telling you that because one day you might need to help make something wondrous. out of something that someone else has discarded. I'll leave you with this little bit of prose. Do not try and be whatever you want to be. Seek to be what your maker intended you to be. That's all on a little extract of the art room. You can buy the Tree Mystic book at Amazon or at thetreemystic.com, and there'll be more videos later. Thank you for listening and watching. Goodbye.